The events following the fatal death of rapper King Von had left Lil Durk restless and with a burning desire to slide for his twin. By doing so, things went south and Lil Durk found himself behind bars. However, in a shocking turn of events, Lil Durk sends a terrifying message from jail to the camp responsible for sending King Von back to his maker. Let's get into it. Straight from behind bars. Since King Von's death, it has been a crazy game of blame between Lil Durk, who is greatly affected by the death, and Quando Rondo, and Lil Tim for their roles in the murder. While Lil Durk is riding hard to get justice for his day one, Quando Rondo and his homeboy Lil Tim have been trying to prove their innocence, claiming the incident leading to King Von's death was a mere act of self-defense. You know how it plays out in the rap game when a mess like this has been done, yeah? Justice is either served by a court of competent jurisdiction or by the brutality of the street. In a shocking turn of events following King Von's death, Lil Durk, burning with the desire for revenge, sends a terrifying message to Lil Tim. Lil Durk's message is laced with a strong contempt toward Lil Tim for pulling the trigger on his day one homie. But here's the thing, Durk's day one homie, King Von, was in a fight with Quando Rondo, Lil Tim's day one homie. Upon realizing that Quando Rondo was in a fist fight with King Von, Lil Tim pulled out a gun and began letting out shots hitting 5 people. The news reads, on November 6, 2020, at around 3:20 a.m., King Von was one among the 5 people shot outside Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. To establish his innocence, in a recent remote interview by Fuchsia's TV, Lil Tim, who was present during the altercation, shared his perspective on that tragic night. Although he was cautious with his words due to ongoing legal proceedings, Lil Tim stood firmly in his decision to defend his friend, Quando Rondo. He asserted that his actions were driven by a desire to protect his brother and that anyone in a similar situation would have acted similarly.
Like anywhere in the United States, anywhere, any country, on the earth, a would've wanted their partner to be their phone.
Lil Tim's interview appeared to hurt every nerve in Durk's system, prompting him to send a disturbing message to Lil Tim, expressing his dissatisfaction with Lil Tim speaking about King Von's death, claiming he simply stood on business. First, Lil Durk tweeted, "We don't want to hear that scary soft it's stock goofy." Lil Durk's cryptic message seems to blame Lil Tim. It was like Durk was saying this dude ain't even worth taking down my homie. Durk expressed his belief that Tim's comments were an attempt to distance himself from the incident, which Durk perceived as a sign of weakness. This exchange between Lil Durk and Tim has sparked a divide among fans, with some defending Tim's actions and others siding with Durk's interpretation. The fans' reactions to the incident and subsequent interviews have been mixed. Many expressed their condolences for King Von's untimely death and acknowledged the difficulty of the situation. Some believe Lil Tim's actions were justified, given the circumstances, while others echo Durk's sentiment, questioning Tim's sincerity. The differing opinions highlight the complexity of this tragic event and the range of emotions it has evoked. This user commented on Lil Tim's interview saying, "I just love how some of y'all praise and love Von for killing and how many bodies he got, but the person who kills the killer y'all praise is wrong. The irony. Had Von killed him or Quando, y'all would be saying Von was on go. They knew Von was a killer. Y'all would be praising Von." Another user observed, "I like how he carry himself. He ain't happy about the situation, nor sad, just neutral. He simply did what he had to do." Talking about doing what needs to be done, some people believe that if the situation was reversed, Lil Durk or King Von himself would have done the same for their homies. Fans were reacting off emotion, but in the end, Tim didn't act any different than Von would have if roles were reversed, just how that goes. Well, to be honest, everyone knows how it's done on the street. Most of the beef and deadly feuds between rappers and rap gangs in the industry are a buildup or retaliation for previous hits, and so it goes. But here's what another user had to say about the whole situation. Von was a bully, and Tim had his man's back, period. The ops Von was into it within Chirac ain't the same ops you gonna get into within a different state. It's a different backyard, and it's gangsters everywhere. He ain't the only one. While weighing the diverse opinions and reactions of fans concerning the situation, I came across a comment that stood out from others for obvious reasons. It says, "People say, damn, what a shame someone had to lose their life," then proceed to say Durk's all bark no bite because he's not out here shooting everyone up. Fans are toxic, and if we are all being completely honest, rap has become toxic not only for the artists, but just as much for the listeners/fans. Kids have life twisted, and the music artists they look up to and idolize aren't helping the current situation. Enough antagonizing rappers to kill and catch bodies when we all know God well 95% of you wouldn't even come close to doing anything even remotely close to that. This user thinks fans are responsible for making rappers turn against each other. He urges the fans to play their parts well and stop praising the violence. Hold up, this is where it gets crazy. While Lil Durk was still fumed and deeply hurt by the death of his friend King Von, two things happened that pushed him off the cliff. In a 2021 interview with Quando Rondo, Angela Yee asked the rapper to comment about the tragic incident that led to King Von's death. Quando Rondo claimed he and his team acted in self-defense on the night of the murder. He said, "I'm thinking these were some regular individuals, so I'm letting this group come by. Next thing you know, a hit me. Boom, bow. I lie to you not. It's like I had an out-of-body experience." Evidently, Lil Durk did not like that interview. In fact, none of the goons in King Von's camp liked the sound of that interview. King Von's girlfriend, Asian Doll, posted saying, "Doing all these interviews about King Von look goofy ASL, speaking on open cases and telling stories he never told is top-of-the-line snitch. He ain't condone he'll cut a MF off for. Y'all forever to me and never stood on business. I hate who don't stand on business a lot, little boy. Dead, we like grown men that get done over here." The following year after the murder, Lil Durk yet again was dissatisfied with the outcome of King Von's murder case. Here's the thing. After the fatal incident, Lil Tim was arrested for the murder, and although he posted a $100,000 bond, he was expected to face trial for the murder felony. However, in a shocking turn of events, Lil Tim's attorney, Noah Pines, out of the blue, released a statement saying that all the charges against his client had been dropped. The statement says the case against Mr. Leaks was dismissed prior to ever being indicted. Prosecutors believe that Von was killed in an act of self-defense. After the charges against him were dropped, Lil Tim and about everyone else on the Quando Rondo team celebrated on the street. Lil Tim released a song accompanied by a music video where he rapped about the court's verdict. Left a Stain, where he raps about the verdict of the case. The lyrics go like this: "Just got a collect call from New Pluto yesterday. He said he on the way. We steady catching plays. I told him about my good news. I'm about to beat this case. I really came from the bottom, feeling like I'm Drake." Unfortunately for Lil Durk, this means that King Von could not get justice from the system. The street is the next alternative. How did I know that? Let me put a little something in perspective so you can grasp this gist. Lil Durk and King Von were very close. The street called them the Evil Twins. The initial connection between Lil Durk and King Von was forged in the streets of Chicago, where their shared experiences and mutual respect for each other's talent brought them together. Durk, already an established figure in the Chicago rap scene, saw potential in the young and hungry Von Durk, took Von under his wing, offering guidance and support as Von navigated the complexities of the music industry. Their friendship was beyond music. It was built upon trust, security, and loyalty. Both artists understood the importance of having someone they could trust in an environment where trust was a rare commodity. It's no wonder when Lil Tim was released from jail and his felony murder charge case was dropped, the street whispered terrifying things. Some people said Quando Rondo and his team would be shot up, and others said Lil Durk would not sit this one out. Well, the street is never wrong, as it appears. In a not-so-shocking turn of events, Lil Durk's name is littered all over the media for his arrest in connection to a murder-for-hire plot. Lil Durk arrested for murder for hire.
And rapper Lil Durk has been arrested and charged with a murder-for-hire plot. The Chicago native, whose real name is Dirk Banks, was arrested in Florida by the U.S. Marshals Service. The 32-year-old's arrest comes as 5 other people in Chicago were arrested in connection with the investigation.
The industry was startled by the news that rapper Lil Durk, whose real name is Dirk Banks, was arrested and is facing a federal charge for an alleged murder-for-hire plot connected to the death of Lil Pap. Who is Lil Pap? Good question. Lil Pap is Quando Rondo's cousin, and I know that you are beginning to connect the dots, but hold on, let me explain something for you real quick. Lil Durk's arrest comes after federal prosecutors in California indicted 5 individuals believed to be members of Lil Durk's Only the Family, OTF, crew. The charges claim these men arranged to travel across state lines to carry out the alleged attack against Quando Rondo's circle in 2022.
Durk has been locked up in Broward County Jail. He's there right now. This is this. Yes, Broward. He's in Florida. I got the whole thing on. Look on my stream. I got it. Oh my God, bro.
As expected, DJ Academics was among the first people to break the news of Durk's arrest to the industry. After making a video about the situation, he tweeted, "Breaking. Lil Durk has been arrested by U.S. Marshals and held in Broward County Correctional Facility until he's extradited to California for his federal charge. His charge is murder for hire for the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pabi." According to reports, Lil Durk was arrested by U.S. Marshals on Thursday and is currently being held in the Broward County Correctional Facility in Florida. Police records show the 32-year-old rapper is being detained without the option of bail and awaits extradition to California to face federal charges. His mugshot has been released. Here is the backstory. Lil Durk founded the label Only the Family, OTF, in 2010. He claims that OTF is not a gang after federal charges were filed against 5 men associated with OTF on October 17th, alleging they tried to kill Rondo in 2022 for his alleged involvement in the 2020 shooting death of rapper King Von. The men named in the suit suit are Kayvon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan Lindsay, and Asa Houston. Although Lil Durk was not named as a defendant in the October 17th suit, his arrest by federal agents has been confirmed to be connected to the murder for hire charge. The indictment charged 5 people for the murder of Lil Pap, but it gets deeper than that. Check this out.
The charges include conspiracy to murder for hire, committing murder for hire involving a death, and the use of a machine gun in a violent crime resulting in death.
Interesting times are ahead because the indictment points to a well-coordinated plan involving alleged OTF affiliates who reportedly placed a bounty on Quando Rondo. Instead, his cousin Lil Pab was killed. Allegedly, members of OTF used a credit card linked to the record label to purchase plane tickets, enabling them to travel from Chicago to California after learning Quando Rondo's location. Now let's connect some dots. The 5 men named in the federal indictment are accused of carrying out the shooting as part of a larger scheme involving alleged OTF gang activity. The indictment suggests these men intended to retaliate against Quando Rondo, whom they reportedly believe to be connected to the tragic death of rapper King Von in 2020. In the complaint that was unsealed last Friday, prosecutors established their case against Lil Durk and his label, accusing only the family of being not just a music organization, but also a hybrid organization that doubles as a criminal enterprise that has committed evil and vile things at the direction of Banks. Durk is referred to as Banks in the indictment. Prosecutors allege that one of those criminal activities was the 2020 attempted murder of rapper Quando Rondo, allegedly plotted in retaliation for the 2020 killing of rapper King Von, Lil Durk's friend. Interestingly, both the new charges and the previous indictment alleged that the 5 men were behind the 2022 shooting that took Quando Rondo's cousin. But in the latest charges, prosecutors directly accused Lil Durk of ordering the 2022 shooting, saying it was retaliation for a 2020 Atlanta shooting in which a Rondo associate allegedly shot and killed King Von. Prosecutors claim that at the time of the murder, TB had a public feud with Banks. The feud stemmed from a November 6, 2020 murder where an associate of TB shot and killed an OTF rapper named Davon Bennett, aka King Von. Bennett was a member of OTF and Banks' close friend, they added. The latest filing also alleged that Lil Durk was planning to vacate the country when he was arrested. It was reported that following the arrest of 5 OTF members, prosecutors received notification that Lil Durk had secured commercial flights to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and Switzerland. Unfortunately, he never boarded either. The FBI allegedly got information that Lil Durk booked passage on a private jet to Italy, where he was arrested just before hopping on the flight. When Cat Williams said this year is the year of truth, I thought he had just come back from the future at the time because it seems as though only the family is on the path to Rico. Again, in a not so shocking turn of events, the new filing appears to implicate OTF as an organization. According to the indictment, Co-Conspirator 1 would place a bounty on individuals that Co-Conspirator 1 and other OTF members wanted to kill, including TB. Quando Rondo is referred to as TB. It proceeds to allege that, as part of the bounty, co-conspirators known and unknown, including defendant Wilson, would pay anyone who took part in the killing of TB and/or reward individuals with lucrative music opportunities with OTF. Oh no, dude, Lil Durk is so cooked. I think Lil Durk is referenced in the indictment as co-conspirator 3. Check this out. Using a credit card associated with OTF, co-conspirator 3 would purchase airline tickets for the co-conspirators to fly to California and murder TB. Prosecutors say the same credit card was used to book hotel accommodations for the assailants, and the card was allegedly issued under a bank account that listed Durk's one-time manager as an owner. It was also reported that another credit card was issued under the same account to Lil Durk's father. But then, how did the plan go? Well, according to the reports, it went south. The indictment confirms that defendant Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 would fire multiple shots at TB, killing SR, who was a passenger in TB's vehicle. If you have been following this gist, then you need no interpreter to tell you that SR is Lil Pap. Now, if you remember, after the attack on Quando Rondo's camp killing Lil Pap, word on the street was someone snitched on Rondo's location. Aha, the street is never wrong because, according to the indictment, overact number 2, on August 18th, 2022, one or more conspirators, including co-conspirator 4, learned that TB was visiting California and staying at a hotel in Los Angeles. So the big question now is, who snitched? But before you go beating yourself over that puzzle, let's look at how the indictment described the tragic events of the day. According to the feds, the killer squad, using 2 cars, including one without a registered license plate, worked in in tandem to track, stalk, and attempt to murder TB at a gas station located in Los Angeles. During the attack, the conspirators allegedly fired at least 18 rounds at TB's vehicle, several of which hit and killed Lil Pap. After the deed was done, prosecutors reported that the killer squad later assembled at a restaurant, where they scrambled payment for the attack and then made one last mistake. At dawn, they allegedly used the same OTF-linked credit card to obtain flight tickets to Chicago. One more thing. Take a look at how the indictment connected the crime to the 2020 murder of King Von.
Here it is. It says, the charges mark the latest fallout from the high-profile killing of King Von. They connecting it. They connecting dots.
What this means is that prosecutors have reasons to believe the case has deeper roots in a long-standing conflict. The altercation between Quando Rondo's crew and King Von in 2020 ended with Von's tragic death in Atlanta, fueling a wave of tension between Rondo's camp and Von's OTF associates. This newly revealed murder-for-hire plot is believed to be a continuation of the retaliation following Von's death. Here's the thing. When I was researching this case, I came across a comment from a user that is significant for its subtle observation. It says, "Fans before this, Durk not sliding for Von. Fans after this, Durk's stupid. He threw his life away for Von." And then I noticed some comments wondering why Lil Durk was pressured to slide for King Von, or in fact, why Lil Durk felt obliged to avenge King Von's death. This then prompted me to tell you about the bond and umbilical connection between Lil Durk and King Von. Perhaps it will help you understand why a small ego-filled fistfight escalated into a series of federal crimes. The evil twin, Von and Durk. Lil Durk, legally known as Durk Derrick Banks, was born on the 19th of October 1992 and grew up in the Inglewood neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. The area was notorious for its high crime rates and gang activity, shaping much of Durk's early experiences. He faced numerous challenges growing up, including the incarceration of his father when he was just 7 months old. It was hardships like this that fueled his rise from the slums of Chicago to the top of the industry chain. His passion for music also gave him an escape from the harsh realities of his environment. On the other hand, King Von, born Davon Daquan Bennett on the 19th of August 1994, hails from the notorious O Block area of Chicago. O Block, named after a fallen member of the local gang, is one of the most dangerous hoods in the city. Just like Lil Durk, Von's upbringing was equally marked by violence and adversity. He lost several close friends to street violence and had multiple encounters with the law from a young age. Despite these challenges, Von's charisma and storytelling distinguished him from his peers, giving him the spotlight of a local rapper. Durk, already an established figure in the Chicago rap scene, saw potential in the young and hungry Von Durk took Von under his wing, offering guidance and support as Von navigated the complexities of the music industry. Their friendship, although rooted in music, was more about survival and loyalty. Both artists understood the importance of having someone they could trust in an environment where trust is scarce. This mutual understanding and respect laid the foundation for a friendship that would go on to impact their lives and careers in diverse ways. Take a look at what Lil Durk said about his friend Von at the Breakfast Club.
He got a whole story behind him, you know what I'm saying? He from O Block.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That should speak for itself. Nah. But, know what I'm saying? He just real. You know what I'm saying? His music, he just a real just, I with him. You know what I'm saying? It's my brother. Twin.
As their friendship deepened, Lil Durk signed King Von to his label Only the Family, OTF, marking a significant milestone as the beginning of their professional collaboration. Shortly after, King Von's debut mixtape, Grandson Vol 1, released in 2019, featured 2 tracks with Durk, Crazy Story, 2.0 Inches, and Twin Nim. The mixtape was a commercial success, and Von's storytelling prowess quickly garnered a dedicated fan base and also cemented the connection between the twins. It is important to note that Von was a dangerous figure on the street before he started making music. He only started rapping after winning a murder case in 2017. No wonder when he started making music, he didn't leave the street behind. He dissed every rapper who dared to stand in his way. The most remarkable of his feuds was the one he had with NBA Youngboy, which ended with Von on the other side of life. King Von, who had been a member of the Black Disciples gang, constantly dissed members of STL, his biggest rival gang, who hail from the 23rd, just a block away from the O Block, the Black Disciples domain. As a teenager, Von found himself drawn into the violent world of gang life. He became a member of the Black Disciples, a gang with deep roots in Chicago's criminal underworld. The allure of power, respect, and protection offered by the gang was too strong to resist. Von quickly rose through the ranks, earning a reputation for fearlessness and ruthlessness. It wasn't long before his name became synonymous with violence and retribution. One of the earliest incidents that cemented Von's reputation was the killing of King Doc. Doc, a member of a rival gang, was gunned down in a brutal attack that shocked the community. On April 28, 2012, a group of 4 men shot him him as he walked into a convenience store. After being shot, Doc stumbled into a patch of tall weeds where he lay undiscovered for hours before his 16-year-old cousin, Model McCambry, eventually found him dead. The killing of King Doc was just the beginning. King Von became an active Twitter user starting in June 2012. He frequently tweeted about his street activities, seemingly unconcerned about incriminating himself. Von openly claimed to be drilling in the name of O.D. Perry and compared himself and his best friend, fellow O-Block shooter T-Roy, to Phineas and Ferb. He warned rivals not to disrespect them, boasting about shooting people as if it were nothing. He tweeted about drilling since he was young and even expressed a desire to kill cops. On August 7th, 2012, Von tweeted that homicide is in the air and that it smells like a graveyard. In the early hours of the following morning, August 8th, 2012, a group from O-Block, rumored to include King Von and T-Roy, was out looking for enemies. Dirty Rel Real, named Tyrell Joshua, an older member affiliated with St. Lawrence, Eberhart, and Jarrow City, was back in town and ended up being shot dead. He was found on a sidewalk on the first block of East 56th Street in Washington Park just before 3:30 a.m. These early incidents set the stage for what would become a pattern of violence and retribution. Von's reputation as a serial killer began to take shape, with each killing adding to the legend. As King Von's reputation in the streets of Chicago grew darker, his alleged involvement in a series of brutal killings continued to fuel the legend of a man feared by many. The next chapter in this grim tale involves the tragic deaths of Modell, P5, and Lil James, each incident adding another layer to Von's notoriety and solidifying his reputation as a serial killer. However, while King Von was pacing to the ranks of the rapper with the most body counts, Death himself was pacing to the finish line on him, but he was too hot-tempered to realize. The initial points of tension between King Von and Quando Rondo can be traced back to their affiliations. King Von's close association with Lil Durk and Quando Rondo's ties to NBA Youngboy created an underlying rivalry. The tension between Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy's camps was well known in the industry and seemed to spill over to their respective artists. The events of November 6, 2020 began like any other for King Von and his crew. They were at the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, a popular spot for nightlife. Meanwhile, Quando Rondo and his entourage were also present at the venue. The atmosphere was charged and tensions were high, though no one could have predicted the tragic events that were about to unfold. As the night progressed, an argument broke out between the two groups. Surveillance footage captured the moment when King Von approached Quando Rondo outside the nightclub. Without warning, Von threw the first punch, igniting a violent brawl between the two entourages. The situation quickly spiraled out of control as fists flew and chaos erupted. During the fight, Timothy Lil Tim Leaks, a close associate of Quando Rondo, allegedly pulled out a gun. Shots rang out and King Von was struck multiple times. The scene was chaotic, with people scattering in all directions as gunfire echoed through the night. Von's crew attempted to rush him to safety, but the damage had already been done. King Von was critically injured and rushed to a nearby hospital. Despite the efforts of medical personnel, he succumbed to his injuries later that night. Timothy Leaks was arrested at the scene and charged with the murder of King Von. He was later released on a $100,000 bond, a decision that sparked outrage among Von's supporters. Quando Rondo, who was present during the altercation, vehemently denied any involvement in the shooting. In subsequent interviews, he claimed that he did not know King Von personally and had never had any issues with him. Quando maintained that he and his crew were merely defending themselves during the altercation.
One thing about it, he gonna protect me with anything, which anybody should do.
Right. Rumors circulated that Quando Rondo had tried to take King Von's chain after the shooting, allegations that Quando strongly denied. He accused people of spreading false information and clout chasing, insisting that no one would be thinking about taking a chain in the middle of a shootout.
I'm not even sure, ma'am. But a chain, ma'am, ma'am, when it comes to jewelry, ma'am, only people with bad intentions who clout chasing and stuff looking to try to take a chain. Right. Ma'am, a $50,000-$60,000 chain, ma'am, like a could go buy that. That's $50,000-$60,000, like that's not nothing.
On the other side, Quando Rondo and his camp faced intense scrutiny and backlash. Many fans and fellow artists held Quando responsible for the events that led to King Von's death. Despite the criticism, Quando remained defiant. In the weeks following the shooting, Quando Rondo faced significant backlash. Concerts were canceled, and he received numerous threats. Despite this, he continued to release music and maintain his innocence. In a controversial move, Quando gifted Timothy Lil Tim Leaks an expensive watch, which many saw as a sign of loyalty and support. This act further fueled the animosity between the two camps. "Me and my twin," wrote Quando Rondo on Instagram stories, accompanying the caption with a photo of two newly purchased watches, one with black details and the other with blue. He tagged Lil Tim's Instagram account, indicating that the second luxury watch was a gift for the man accused of shooting King Von. Although at the time some people commended Lil Durk for not seeking to avenge King Von's death and continued continuing the chain of violence in the rap culture. Little did they know that the rapper was moving underground like a green snake in green grass. Let's see where this recent development in the case takes us. If you love this video, then click the card showing on your screen for more videos like this.